What's up, sunshine? I'm Coy Wire. Welcome to CNN 10 on this Your Word Wednesday. And because our lead story is coming out of our neighbor to the north today, Canada, let's start off this show with a shout out to the Bears at Crescent Valley School in Hinton, Alberta, and a shout out to the Dolphins of Pilgrim Wood Public School in Oakville, Ontario. Miss Sargent, Mr. Haddock, thank you for making us part of your day. Now, let's get to your news. Canadians headed to the polls for their big federal election, similar to the United States' big election days, but Canadians vote to choose members for their parliament, which is similar to the U.S. Congress, and that determines who becomes prime minister, the head of their government. The voters elected Mark Carney to keep his role as prime minister after he recently took over from Justin Trudeau. The win marks a major victory for Canada's Liberal Party over the nation's Conservative Party. While voters were focused on issues like the cost of living, things like gas and groceries, and finding affordable housing, a major theme in this election was Canada's relationship with the United States, especially concerning trade and tariffs. Carney also took a strong stance against several mentions from the White House recently, voicing their desire to annex or add Canada as the 51st state.
Why was it important for you to vote today?
You can see it on my sweater, on my t-shirt. Canada's not for sale.
Well, the groceries are going up and the gas is going up, and it's hard for the seniors to struggle, right?
It's always important, but with everything going on across the border, tumultuous times of the economy, it's important to make sure our voices are heard.
CNN's Paula Newton has this report.
Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready to stand up for Canada with me?
A rallying cry for Canadian sovereignty as Mark Carney declared victory in the country's federal elections.
We are once again at one of those hinge moments of history. Our old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over.
The 60-year-old former central banker also sending a message of unity to the millions that did not vote for him.
And my message to every Canadian is this: no matter where you live, no matter what language you speak, no matter how you voted, I will always do my best to represent everyone who calls Canada.
So I would like to congratulate Prime Minister Carney.
Conservative opposition leader Pierre Poilievre conceded defeat early Tuesday, saying Carney had won enough seats to form a razor-thin minority government. Throughout his campaign, Carney rode a wave of anti-Trump sentiment since winning his party's leadership contest in a landslide after former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau stepped down last month.
We are fighting unjustified U.S. tariffs.
Trump's tariffs on imports from Canada and continued threats to annex the country as the 51st state only helped him ride that wave to victory.
Pop quiz, hot chat. What is the oldest university in the United States? Yale University, Harvard University, College of William and Mary, or St. John's College? Hip hip hurrah, if you said Harvard. Established in 1636 when Massachusetts was still a British colony. It was originally named New College. It later changed the name to honor its first financial donor, John Harvard. Last week, we gave you a report about Harvard University suing the White House to get their billions of dollars in federal funding back. Well, a judge just decided the university will not be able to access that money until at least late this summer, if at all. It's all part of the ongoing fight between the White House and higher education institutions over things like diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, university rules around campus protests, as well as which applicants should be admitted or employed. Attorneys for Harvard and the White House begin their arguments July 21st. Russian President Vladimir Putin declared a unilateral 3-day ceasefire in Ukraine beginning on May 8th. The Kremlin says all military actions will be suspended in that time. The temporary truce coincides with Russia's World War II Victory Day holiday on May 9th, marking the 80th anniversary of Nazi Germany's defeat. The announcement was met with skepticism. Ukrainian officials said Putin should instead accept a longer, more permanent truce proposed by the United States that would start immediately. So far, Putin has rejected that deal. Now to news of a very expensive and dangerous mishap at sea. The Navy recently lost a fighter jet worth tens of millions of dollars after it rolled off an aircraft carrier into the sea. Thankfully, the crew aboard the carrier were able to clear out of the jet's way and were unharmed. The Navy said in a statement that the FA-18 Super Hornet fighter jet was being towed aboard the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier in the Red Sea. The incident is under investigation, and while the cause of the accident isn't clear just yet, the initial report suggests that the ship may have made a hard turn to avoid fire from Houthi rebels who were targeting cargo ships in the area. The Houthis' attacks on shipping in the Red Sea began shortly after the start of the Israel-Hamas war in 2023, stating their attacks were an act of solidarity with Palestinians. The Navy does have a dedicated salvage recovery team, did you know? So there is a chance of them getting out of this quagmire by recovering the expensive jet, but they also feel it might be too risky given the hostile activity from Houthi rebels.
My voice will be last 17 years.
Today's story getting a 10 out of 10. A robotics team overcoming tragedy to reach the world championships. When the January wildfires burned tens of thousands of acres in Los Angeles County, Marquez Charter Elementary School and its robotics lab was among those affected. But the 4th and 5th graders on this robotics team weren't ready to give up just yet. Our Natasha Chen has the story. Listen.
I was riding away and I see like the smoke like filling the sky. And I'm like, oh my God, my school. Oh my God, I had robotics today, the robot.
Charlotte Liu, who goes by Charlie, is one of hundreds of students who evacuated Marquez Charter Elementary School on January 7th as flames hurtled toward their school.
I thought that we might actually be able to save the school, but then I got the word the next morning.
They're part of a group of 4th and 5th graders who had built incredible robots during the fall to compete in regional and national competitions, only to have the Palisades fire destroy them as it tore through more than 6,000 structures.
We never expected everything to burn down. Otherwise, I would have saved it.
Many teachers and parents thought they were leaving temporarily, not thinking there would be nothing left for their children to return to.
Most of them lost their homes, their schools, their, parks, their libraries.
With no campus left, the staff and student body moved to existing empty classrooms at another elementary school, and the students made their own choice to rebuild their robots, even as some were dealing with losing their homes.
We didn't have a place to live, so, we didn't even know where school was necessarily going to be. It seems a little overwhelming and daunting because it's a big commitment.
3 days a week, hours at a time, and with the help of donations, support from the coaches.
I said, if you want to continue, we will find a way.
And looking over notes from their first robots.
We made some improvements that definitely improved the bot.
A bot designed to launch a ball directly into a set of goals.
How accurate is that when you launch?
Well, our bot is actually called hole-in-one, so pretty frequently. We usually get it in every time.
So good, in fact, that the 2 teams from Marquez took their quickly finished new robots to an Iowa competition. The 4th grade team also beat out hundreds of other teams to qualify for the World Championships in Dallas, Texas.
There's probably going to be some really, really good teams that have crazy scores.
But teammate Winston Tyre remembers hearing words of advice at the last meetup as they prepared for their biggest match.
It isn't about what the awards you get. It isn't about who you get paired up with. It's about having fun.
And his dad could not be prouder of the journey they've taken.
It's been months, but they do impress me.
Just look at their spirit and the fact that they just were like, this happened, but we're not defeated.
Robotics in general, it's all about, not giving up. And I think that that's what they're doing in their lives right now.
Well done. All right, it is time to bring this show home. Our Your Word Wednesday winner is Miss Walburn in Jackson Middle School in Ohio for quagmire, a noun meaning an awkward, complex, or hazardous situation. Thank you for boosting our vocabulary today. And we have a special shout out going to Ms. Rashid and all our friends at Coyle Middle School in Athens, Georgia. Rise up. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing and commenting on our CNN 10 YouTube channel. For your shout out requests, you rock. I'm Coy Wire, and we are CNN 10.